Welcome to Inside the Force. I'm Greg Grunberg, a.k.a. Snap Wexley.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
And it is almost here. Rogue One drops in just 3 short days.
3 days.
We're releasing this the next day, so just 2 days. Thanks for joining us. This is Dave Cottingham with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And this is Inside the Force, and we're not going to get inside the Force. We're going to get inside Rogue One.
Yes.
We're going to give we've been hyping this for the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
This is our predictions slash speculation of what we feel like we're going to get and see in the order that we think is going to happen in Rogue One. Now, before we jump into that, just a couple quick things. One, who didn't see that Rebels episode?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We got to preface this whole episode. There's spoilers, like whether it's spoilers for Rebels
This is spoilers.
Yeah, and our speculative spoilers. You could say.
Very, very true.
So
that you're right. You're right. We should, because we got a couple of feedback from some people last year.
Yeah, some people don't, So Andy Smith, don't listen to this episode. I know you're one of them, because we hit on we guessed and speculated some actually very accurate points of Force Awakens. Yeah, some character arcs and whatnot, and backstory a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, this episode is mainly for us.
Yeah, it is. It's just fun. I mean,
that we want to make sure and see if we are putting together the pieces capsule. Right.
Yeah.
Because again, this is truly based on nothing but the trailers.
Yes.
We haven't read anything like any reviews. Mm-hmm. I'm staying away.
Oh yeah, me too.
From social media. Really,
I've been. Not spoiled in the sense that I know what's going to happen in the movie. And this is like for a fact, like big moments. But I've just read little rumors. I've read little blurbs about reviews from the premiere. That influences my speculation. It doesn't spoil it for me, but it just influences on what I think is going to happen.
Right.
But other than that, pure
we don't know.
Official visuals of what we've seen.
Yes,
and I haven't even seen all the TV spots or all the trailers.
Yeah, I've seen a lot, but I don't know how many. I mean, I feel like there's like 30 30 TV spots out there. I've only seen a handful of them. I've seen all the trailers. I've seen all the international trailers as well. But which, again, doesn't.
Sure.
It's just a couple shots here and there that's new.
Yeah.
But the same storyline in every trailer.
Yeah, the tweets that I read from the premiere that said that the trailers don't reveal anything. Like, you don't really.
Right.
Like, you get the basic story, of course. We've always known the basic story, but it's not revealed any of the twists.
Yeah, and again, if you just watch those 3 trailers, it's the same story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in there about the Death Star, the Empire. Definitely not. I mean, we only heard like 3 lines from Galen Erso.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Now, so Rebels real fast.
Yeah.
Visions and Voices. Fantastic episode. Darth Maul returns.
Mm-hmm. Mid-season
finale. We don't get Rebels back until next year sometime. What a way to end it. Mm-hmm. Bringing back, again, this is an episode that kind of completes an arc from the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. We go back to Dathomir and we bring back the Night Sisters.
That was awesome.
Yeah, what'd you think of the episode?
This was incredible. It was, I was explaining to my brother Corey, telling him that he needs to catch up and watch it because it's like it picks up right where that previous episode with Maul and the Holocrons left off. So it's and it had the same sense of just like, big what moments kind of at the end of it where, it talks about, again, spoilers to everybody. Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Maul trying to find Obi-Wan Kenobi and trying to figure out what the planet he's on. They know he's somewhere, but they can't figure out what the planet is. Maul didn't get a good vision of it, but and Ezra kind of got a good vision of it. So they, it's basically doing the same thing. Like they're joining their minds together to figure out where Obi-Wan Kenobi is, and Ezra wants to know how to defeat the Sith. But it was just, I mean, of course, any episode with Maul, because Sam Witwer is phenomenal.
Yeah.
As Maul, he's awesome. I want to. I can't stop watching it, and the whole action scene in the caves of Dathomir, that was awesome. That was just incredible, and bringing back some things like the Darksaber was a great cameo, sort of, and then the very end of it, like it was. Just blown me away. Like, at the end of it, I was just watching it in my living room, freaking out because it's like I just got done reading Catalyst over the weekend, and then I'm like figuring out, getting hyped up for Rogue One, and then I watched this Rebels episode. I'm just like, this is just too much awesomeness to handle right now. There's just so many great things happening. Like this episode was just incredible.
Yeah, I'm to the point now. I know we've said it a few times. Like, how awesome would it be to see live action Maul Obi-Wan again? So but either way, I'm just excited to see Obi-Wan again.
Sure.
So if it is on Rebels, I just don't know how they're going to do that with so close to episode 4, it's but
it'll be old Obi-Wan by this point.
oh yeah
gray haired
yeah, it would be, yes. But I'm curious as to. So anyway, this leads me real quick to this point. For one, you go watch Rebels Recon right after, right? So you hear more about, especially next half of the season, how what's coming, more Thrawn, more connection with Rogue One, and that's because now we've seen Rogue One, and incredible. But I mean, the way this sounds to me, and I'll just throw this out there, the way this sounds with Obi-Wan being so hinted, like I do get the sense that I still get a little bit of a sense that they're not going to show him, or they're not going to reach him in this, but they're just teasing enough of his character because we're gonna get more Obi-Wan in something else. Yeah. And during the time of, his exile or whatever. That's what I feel like in my initial senses, is that
with Maul, or just
no,
they'll tie up Maul probably in Rebels, but you're saying
I'm saying we'll get stories.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see how he can get too involved right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when Luke finds him, he's like clueless.
Yeah.
And then like the whole hologram of Leia, he has no idea, unless he's holding it back. Who knows?
Or he really is dedicated to not getting involved, to staying hidden.
Yes.
Like he just has to force himself to get out of it until the Empire's about to kill Luke. So I was like, or find Luke. It's like, I've got to do it now.
Yeah.
And Luke's our only hope.
But I mean, if the Ghost Crew, or if they find out, it's almost like,
why don't they try to recruit him?
Yeah. Why aren't they getting him now and saying, "Hey, we're fighting. Let's go." It's because obviously, as we'll talk about with Rogue One, it's like this is what triggers Bail to say, "Go get Obi-Wan. It's time."
Yeah.
So Bail has been holding that back in Rebels, right?
It's
not time yet. It's not time yet.
Somebody's out there.
Because apparently Leia's been doing this thing for secretly in the Senate, for a couple of years now. I guess I don't know. Was she a senator?
I can't remember. I think she was.
I think she was too. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So go watch that. Yeah. Visions and Voices, fantastic episode. Can't wait till Rebels comes back.
Yeah. And I was actually real quick, like talking to Cody today about that episode, and suggesting like, what if it would be cool? It'd be the ideal is if they just go ahead and in the second half of the season, they'll get to Obi-Wan, but they just go ahead and film like 4 live action episodes with Ewan McGregor and Ray Park, and just throw it in that season, just just to appease everybody. Like, just go ahead and do that. That'd be so weird, but it would be
would be awesome. Oh my gosh, that
just
would be
film
awesome.
that little mini movie and then like throw it in there. anyway.
Yeah, and I like. But here's a question too. Now I know James R. Taylor did the premiere, did Spark of Rebellion, but they've been bringing back old voices.
Okay
Billy Dean Williams. Yeah. They didn't bring back Carrie Fisher, obviously, but they brought back Frank Oz, James Earl Jones. Could Ewan McGregor voice Obi-Wan if they?
I would be totally fine with that.
Totally, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, okay, so Rebels. We'll get back to that next to last thing before is just a brief talk about Catalyst.
Yeah, non-spoiler.
Yes,
talk
because we have both completed it. You read it.
I read it.
I
actually read it.
Listened to it.
Yes.
First off, James Lucena, fantastic book. Oh my gosh, I listened to Tarkin, which he did. This is right up there with it. Is my two favorite ones I've listened to so far. Ahsoka being right behind that, and A New Dawn, unfortunately, not as good, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I've already told myself that after Rogue One, next week probably I want to start Heirs of the Jedi. I really want to know about Luke.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned too much about
the Empire side.
Side of things. You know, I want to find out what's going on with Luke. So Heir of the Jedi, which also real quick, I did some research on kyber crystals.
Yeah.
And the canon stuff that's listed, right? And how, of course, we talked about it now. How the crystals are white, and the hue gets picked based on kind of the person that's using it. But I did read that there was also another purple lightsaber. Canon wise, because he finds it in that book.
Ooh,
Luke finds it. So I really want to. And it even says it's Master somebody. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh wow!
So he finds out who somehow
not Mace Windu's lightsaber.
It's not Mace's. So I don't, unless that guy picked up Mace's. I don't know, but somehow Luke finds a purple bladed lightsaber.
That's awesome. Because in the EU, in Legends, Anakin Solo had a purple lightsaber.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Anakin Solo, right? Yeah, not Ben Solo.
Correct.
So I'm really interested to get them into that book. Anyway, so Catalyst being the somewhat prequel, even though it technically takes place years.
About 15 to 17 years I was thinking about today, because...
Yes. But it spans over several years.
Oh, yeah. It spans about...
5 years, right?
Yeah, I would say 5 or 6 years, yeah. It basically leads right up to probably what will be the flashback, which I thought it would. It lead right to the flashback that we will see in Rogue One.
I agree.
Obviously, it doesn't go past that, so... but yeah, it spans quite a bit. Incredible book,
and a little confusion, which I hope to maybe get cleared up someday.
Oh, you know, the timeline.
The timeline at the beginning, where it has like the timeline of the Del Rey books.
Yeah,
it lists Catalyst after Tarkin, but this hopefully is. I'm not spoiling anything, but Tarkin, because Tarkin is in this book. But it ends with somewhere in Tarkin's situation. It ends with him on this base that starts his book. So to me, Tarkin takes place after this book, but I'm not sure how they're placing the timeline like that. So I don't know. That part is really confusing to me.
Sure.
When I read that. So anyway, but this thing takes place somewhat in the Clone Wars a little bit. It really dives into Krennic and Jyn and Galen Erso's relationship. I do think, I mean, the reports about it were true. I think it's essential to understanding where these characters are in Rogue One.
And the world that they're coming from, especially. There's nothing. It doesn't spoil any plot points, I guess, that we know of. Really,
no, I don't think so.
One. I mean, there's cameos of other characters.
I'm sure they'll summarize in dialogue.
Yeah,
on Rogue One, what happens in this book, kind of.
But it's, we had a big discussion after we did Ahsoka. Well, actually, not after Ahsoka, but a few weeks ago about the books and how most of these books are what we kind of think are not essential to the importance.
Kind of throwaway stories, right?
Yeah, yes. Things that don't have a huge effect and a huge ripple effect into the main story of Star Wars. Like nothing major happens. Like we're not going to get a death of a major character or birth of a major character that will later feature into a movie or something like that. Like we're not going to get another Skywalker child in this book, and then we'll later see it in episode 10 or 9 or whatever. No, so they're not really essential.
Although Jyn is born in this book.
Jyn is born in this book, but we already knew she existed prior to this book.
You're right,
so
true.
It's a backstory to what we already knew. Like we'll probably get a book that has the birth of Kylo Ren, most likely.
Probably.
But we're not going to get like a book that has like a secret birth of another Solo.
Right.
We won't find out of another Solo before it's actually revealed in a movie. So, but this book, however, Catalyst is really important, I think, to the overall story of Star Wars. Mainly about the Death Star, as this is about. It's on the cover, so
right.
This book is about the Death Star.
I do, and I agree with that. And I think that there has been, there was, as you go through the 80s and the 90s, and up until episode 2, you just assumed. I think everybody just assumed the Empire built this thing and. But there's so much story behind how this thing got built and the origin of the plans, because they pop up in episode 2 on Geonosis, and you're like,
wow,
what?
Yeah,
These Geonosians, they're the ones that. So, but were they? It's like, did they just hold the plans, or they actually who came up with the idea? Which I'm not sure if that. Did that solve that?
It definitely leaned more towards one theory than another. But
okay, because I was going to talk to you about that, because I'm not even 100% sure that's actually been where the actual plans fully originated from. Like who thought of I'm going to build this battle station and make it have this ultimate weapon on it.
Yeah, and it's going to look like this, and it's going to be like this.
Yes, I don't know if that was actually ever been revealed yet.
It hasn't been. I mean, again, like this book definitely.
It hints at it.
It really hints at it.
Because I think we'll mention after.
Certain characters believe this is how it happened.
Yes.
But it doesn't really wholly reveal it.
I get that part.
Yeah.
Like the changing hands, and which we're not trying to spoil anything.
Yeah, anyways. It leans towards one.
Next week, I'll tell you this. Next week, we are doing we're going to have a couple guys on here, a couple more guys that have read this thing. We are going to fully spoil and talk about Catalyst. Yeah. After we see Rogue One.
Sure.
Actually, we might do a Rogue One.
We're probably going to do a Rogue One episode and then
maybe this weekend or something like that. And then
sure, yeah.
And then talk about Catalyst.
But no, it's still there's still some,
some
ambiguity about it. But overall, like the logistics of it, the practicality of building this huge weapon, like how many resources it took, the science that went into it with Galen, the minerals, the everything, the political controversies that went behind it. It's all here in this book.
That's right.
It answers so many questions in regards to that and why it took so many years.
Yeah,
at least 5 years.
And it definitely wasn't as simple as saying, okay, put a laser on there that'll destroy a planet.
Yeah,
because it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So how that happened is in that book, and it continues into Rogue One.
Yeah.
I mean that part is not necessarily fulfilled.
Definitely explains why Krennic is in the position that he is.
Right. Right.
It finally answers some questions of why Tarkin. We always thought Tarkin was the guy, the brainchild of it, and this book really changes that mindset.
Yes,
and I like how it changed.
And it did that in Tarkin as well.
Yes, it did. You're right.
When I read Tarkin, I was like, okay. There's a lot more questions now. Yeah. And this filled a lot more of those questions. Mm-hmm. A lot more of those questions.
It's very exciting read.
It's awesome read. And again, it's essential to the understandings of the Death Star and the Empire, the state of the Empire. And honestly, which I definitely want to we'll definitely get more into when we break it down. But again, the mindset of what I'm so interested in, also in fascinated by, is the mindset of these officers in the Republic,
Yeah.
like Krennic, like Tarkin, that fought in the Clone Wars, and then are all of a sudden now Imperials.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They don't care.
right? It's like they even
This is it.
Tarkin said it in Tarkin, which I'll spoil that because that's been out for a while. But like Tarkin, even in Tarkin, is like, I did what I did in the Clone Wars, and now the Emperor is the master of the galaxy, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just going along with it because I'm part of the military. I mean, it's weird, the mindset, and man, it all goes back to a freaking certain point of view. It's
Exactly.
like how you view everything. Oh, the Republic was corrupt. Well, now it's the Empire, and I am behind the. It's like
Even I'm gonna say this. I mean, even like characters like Galen and his wife Lyra, and any of the other Coruscanti citizens, they're behind it. At this point, it's like it's the Empire.
yes,
And that's one thing that with these books, even though they're not quote unquote non-essential ones, like I read Lost Stars, which takes place many years. That same thing where it's like it's the Empire. Like why it's just the way it is. Like I don't see it as corrupt. It's my government and
Right.
a little tough, but it's better than what it was before. That kind of thing. And
the
so-
whole corruption thing.
Yeah.
Just bled into everything, and they felt like it's, and some reason, I guess because he championed the victory in the Clone Wars. It's like this guy Palpatine is our leader, and we got it's like what he did.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
It is.
It's unbelievable how he fooled
trillions
both
of
sides,
lives.
the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
It just really, I mean, it makes sense. Something I never thought about before. It's like, why in this whole galaxy, why are only a small band of people rebelling against this evil empire? Like, isn't it? I mean, it's called empire. Usually, empires, according to our history, it's like empires usually have a connotation of being evil.
yes,
Why doesn't
especially an emperor.
Yeah, why doesn't everybody kind of emperor that looks like that? All these stormtroopers, like they look evil. Like, why doesn't everybody see them as evil? Like, why is this only a small group of people? But no, like the mindset of the citizens, most of them in the galaxy, especially the core worlds, like they're
They're not seeing it.
yeah, it's our government. They're,
Well, yeah, well, they're not
nothing
being-
bad's even happened really. They're not being enslaved.
Correct. They're not
Yeah.
being oppressed. It's
Yeah.
really happening in the outer
exactly.
rim, and
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
Understanding the layout of the galaxies is important.
Like I want, how we have Tarkin, we've got Thrawn, we've
Yeah.
had Ahsoka. I truly want a Palpatine.
Palpatine book.
I want to know
I do too.
his history
Yeah.
more, canon history,
Yeah.
and like just his mindset of how he thought of all this, and like, oh man, I mean, it's brilliant. It's really brilliant. I mean, I'm praising a freaking
Yeah.
Sith, emperor, but it's like it's unbelievable how he
Yes.
fooled everybody.
And I would say James Luceno is probably the only person who can write that because he's like I'm sure with Tarkin, you probably would say this, but like with this book,
Or
and with,
maybe Zahn.
or Zahn, like, yeah, because he's the same way. With the Legends books that those guys wrote, like they're very good at getting into the minds of these people, and
Right.
totally developing their language, how they write, to the specificities of these characters. Just reading the Catalyst, like it's so technical. Like the language, the technology, the scientific words that he uses with kyber crystals and energy and ion engines and cores and reactors. It's like actually in the very back there's an acknowledgement that I read because it explained like how he knew so much. Like it says, where does it say it? Acknowledgements thanks to the polymath Ronnie Levon for the crash course in lasers, crystals, and synthetic diamonds. And for inspiration, but it's like he went to these
scientists,
experts, to learn about how to actually correctly describe this language. Like he's just so good at that. So him doing a Palpatine book, I think it would be perfect. Or Timothy Zahn, like perfect.
Yeah. That's why I can't wait till Thrawn.
I would call it Sheev. That should be the
Sheev,
title.
yeah, Sheev, yeah, exactly.
They mentioned Sheev in this.
They do.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a great book to read, definitely.
man. So anyway, I know it's a little late now, but if you can squeeze in Catalyst before you get there,
Yeah.
But even if afterwards, if you want to crash course on the history,
it's not that long. 330 pages, 28 chapters.
I mean, audiobook wise, it's like 11 hours or something like that. I got through it driving to and from work for a couple weeks, and it's awesome. Okay, so let's get into this.
Here we go.
Okay, so Rogue One. Now, what we're going to do is we're really just going to kind of talk about how, first off, just the pace of the movie, what we see happening in the beginning. I guess we'll kind of bounce off each other and see if it matches or not. And then, of course, we'll talk about what we believe is probably the fate of some characters.
Yeah.
How it's going to line up right into episode 4. Stuff like that. We've talked a little bit about this, but this is our full kind of
our
definitive speculation and prediction based on all the trailers and evidence that's out there. So, so what you want to start off? Or you want me to start off?
I'll start off and just kind of jump in. We'll go.
Totally. So we know for a fact though, there's no crawl.
There's no crawl. It opens. He said it opens, differently,
but we will get. I think we'll get a long time ago in the Galaxy Far Away still.
I think so.
Yeah, I still think we'll get that.
No, we'll see. I mean, I won't be surprised. But
they do that in every book and every.
Yes.
I still think that's going to happen. I'll be disappointed if that's.
How would they show Star Wars the title?
I don't think they're going to show that. I think they're going to show the Rogue One title.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to get the same music in the beginning.
No.
Interesting. Oh, this is so interesting. All right.
I think after a long time ago in the Galaxy Far Away, I actually think it's going to go to footage. Like we're going to go right into something, and then eventually the Rogue One logo will. We might not get Rogue One until the very end. You know how they do like Bane of Steel at the end.
Sure. I think we'll get the title because it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I mean, because it usually the logic I feel like that should lead into a title, whether or not it's the same style as the other Star Wars movies, but like it's just different style text and just kind of fades in and fades out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
I won't be surprised if we don't see it or if we do see something.
I think we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get some kind of scene first before we get the title. I just
that would be cool. That would be different.
I feel like that's more of a filmmaker like Gareth Edwards,
exactly.
like his style, kind of,
a cold open kind of thing.
Yeah,
The first thing, flashback. First thing we're probably gonna see, at least in my opinion, I think is the flashback.
I do agree with that. I think it opens. I won't say that because that's kind of Catalyst.
Oh,
dude, should we say that?
Well, I think,
what planet?
Oh yeah, Lamu.
Okay.
Lamu. Yeah,
okay.
I'm wondering. I feel like that's been said elsewhere.
Okay.
I feel like Entertainment Weekly or something like that. Lamu, which is the planet that they are on. It's a new planet.
So I don't think it's too much of a spoil. So we're basically saying that it's picking up where Catalyst left off.
Yeah. Galen, Jin, and
Lyra.
Lyra, is that how they say it in the audiobook? Lyra. Or on Lamu hiding out.
How do they spell it?
Lyra.
Yeah, Lyra.
Yeah, Lyra. Which Lyra is awesome in the book.
That's so funny because I heard pronunciations. You have to like guess.
Yeah, I always guess.
That's hilarious.
That's how I've always done it. I feel like there's some other.
Yeah, because I think I heard someone was saying Galen.
Really?
Yeah, but it's Galen.
I've always just said Galen. Yeah,
it's in the book. It's Galen.
Okay.
Jin.
Well, there's other
Saul Guerrera.
I feel like just reading a bunch of Star Wars books. There's always been like these creature names.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah.
Like Thrawn has like this. The little creature on his shoulder. It looks like a salamander. I always said Yulsamari or something like that. And it's spelled so weird, but I think I heard Filoni called it like it's such a weird. I don't remember how he pronounced it.
He said something else.
He pronounced it differently. But anyways, start off with the flashback on Lamu. The family, the Urso family, is hiding out, and just what we see in the trailers, Krennic comes to them. But we get the dialogue with Lyra talking to Jin about Kybers and the Force. Because it gives the little Kyber crystal necklace,
right?
Yeah, that actually says Force on it. Did you know that? Cody and I saw that there was some sort of
engraving.
There's some engraving or little symbols on the crystal.
Ah.
We paused it. We couldn't tell what it is, but someone else found it, and it's Arabesh. It spells Force on the crystal.
Nice.
So that's in the trailer. So that's confirmed. And Galen's talking to her.
Now, is that too big to be a lightsaber? Is that a lightsaber crystal?
That seems like a lightsaber crystal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's too perfect, I think, and small. But so there's the specifics of that scene. Like I don't know, they'll talk about Force and Kybers and give a little backstory and exposition. And then Krennic comes, and I imagine I'm gonna guess Lyra dies there, and then
I would guess because I think she kind of goes on the run. But the problem I have, and that's why I'm a little confused, just because Mon Mothma in the trailer says on your own since the age of 15, not 7 or whatever she would be when
on the age of 15,
that
that's
happened.
right? Because I feel like I heard in another TV spot that they said that she hasn't heard from her father in 15 years.
Yes, that's right. So that's what makes me think Lyra might be still alive, and then Galen just gets taken.
Interesting.
But Krennic, kind of based on that book.
Oh yeah.
Either they go in hiding. This I don't know. See, either they go in hiding, like escape, because there's that shot of her kind of hidden in the weeds.
There's also a shot of her running on the beach.
Yes, but that's when I think the ship is.
It's leaving.
You think it's leaving?
I think it's leaving.
Oh, okay.
And she's like running away.
It's hard. It's that's the only part I'm really confused about. Lyra is what happens to her, because I
since
agree
15.
with you. Yeah, on your own since 8. Because at this point she's only like 19 or not even that, maybe, right? Yeah, she's 18 or 19, I guess,
I
right?
feel like we got an age somewhere, but yeah, she's
Because
early
she was
20s
born
maybe.
during the Clone Wars, or towards the end of it.
Yeah,
Like
that's right. We can figure this out.
Yeah.
She was born 1 year after.
it's 1 year before the Clone Wars ended. I think
It was 1 year. It was 1 year after Geonosis, wasn't it?
yeah,
Or was
somewhere
she
in there.
pregnant?
Yeah, I think she
About
was like middle
year and a
of the
half.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a year and a half in.
So year and a half till episode 3, 19 years plus that. So 20 and a half.
So she's about 20
She's 20 years old. Yeah.
when this happens.
Yeah.
When Rogue One happens.
Okay.
So when she's that young girl, she's probably what, 6 maybe, 5 or 6.
4 or 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 probably is a safe bet.
So we're talking like 4 years after the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah.
So, which makes sense. I mean, because again, that lines up right when Tarkin book happens, because that book happens 5 years after. So that's where that timeline.
Sure.
If they're thinking like that's beyond Tarkin a little bit,
Yeah.
then I could see them maybe putting it. But most of the events happened before.
You know, it would be great if this happens in a Star Wars movie, that they do like a subtitle like year.
Yes, I don't know why they haven't done
BBY.
that. I totally forgot to say that. Yeah, why? I wish in the audiobook they would say like if there was a time jump.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like they have to do based off Clone Wars. Because this is
yes,
they'd say like
that's the major war.
5 years after Clone Wars. Or
Yeah, it's
something
not the
like that.
Battle
Or
of
5
Yavin
years, Order
anymore.
66 or
It's
something like that.
or Empire Day maybe.
Empire Day. That's consistently in canon what it's been referred to as Empire Day.
Yes.
Like 5 years after Empire Day, whatever.
Correct.
Okay. That I would
go
love
with that.
I
Totally, I would go with that. Okay, so I mean, we got to speculate. I think Lyra survives that encounter.
I think she dies.
You think they gun her down? Or
I think they do. Krennic doesn't like her.
yeah, but I just could not see Galen doing anything if he guns her down at that point.
I see, like voluntarily.
Yes.
You kill my wife. How would I?
Like you found me.
Yeah.
Basically, they're saying I think he's like, I'll spare them if you come and work for me. Come back to work. That's the only way, based on what happened in that book. You know, it's like if he guns him down, there's no reason.
That definitely makes a lot of
So-
sense. I'm only saying she dies just because of the shot of her running on the beach. I think she's running away by herself. So I feel like she'd be doing that.
I kind of feel like that's them coming,
Okay.
and she's running to
Just to hide.
not to hide. She's running to tell her father that there's a ship.
Okay.
That's kind of how I got out of
Okay.
that. Because again, and I only go back to that Mon Mothma line thinking, okay, at least they survived. Just her and Lyra survive until maybe she passes when she's 15, and then she's on her own for like 4 years, right?
Sure.
Before this happens.
Sure.
And then because that would kind of make sense. Her mom, you know how Lyra's see, again, you know her passion and where her faith lies. That would be the reason why Jyn ends up how she does, right? Because she's, but she doesn't really remember what happened to her father, I don't think.
Didn't seem like it.
And then So 15 years would be around 5. She'd be about 5.
Okay, yeah.
Right? If she hadn't heard from her in 15 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So that's starting to line up. Okay. Anyway, so then I think it's a hard cut to her in prison.
Like that trailer. basically.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. In prison, in which she
Which
can't
is
be on Jeddah.
Not Jeddah.
It
I don't think
seems
it's
like
Jeddah.
it is in the trailers.
Totally.
It's just the way it's edited together, but
It's not Jeddah.
I don't
think
know
it's
where
Jeddah.
they are. Close to Yavin or in space even? I mean, I don't know. No, she's not. She's actually somewhere because it's the prison. She's in that prison cell.
It looks like a freaking Tatooine
It
type
does.
place again. You know,
Yeah.
it's like some desert planet, some
I don't
remote
know.
desert
It could
planet.
be Jeddah, and it's just close by to Yavin. They just take her to Yavin. I don't know. They could just take her and have to go back for some reason. I don't know.
See,
Doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either. I don't think it's Jeddah.
Okay.
I'll say right now, I don't think it's Jeddah.
So it's another planet.
It's another planet. It's
Yeah.
another prison
I mean,
imprisoned
logically,
planet.
that has to be like that.
So Cassian's there with K2. They rescue her.
So you think that's when we will see them on this planet? When they are you talking about? When do you think we're going to see Cassian first on Yavin? Or
No, I think they break her out first.
Cassian breaks her out there.
Cassian
Yeah.
breaks her out.
Okay.
Because this is the way I'm feeling like this movie is I feel like it's not going to slow down. Like I think Gareth is like, I mean, it's a war movie. I mean, I don't think we're going to have any time to kind of just sit down and process things. I think she gets freed out of that prison within the towards the middle of the first act.
Yeah.
If not in the very beginning, the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie.
15, yeah.
10,
15 minutes, yeah.
Because I think she gets freed, and then he shackles her up and takes her to Yavin, and that conversation happens. We got a mission for you,
Yeah.
Because they got the transmission from her father, right? So now, so I think, basically, I think the first plot point, which is about 25, 30 minutes in the movie, is her saying, yes, you accept this mission.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Then she says, then I think it's the recruiting side. Then it starts recruiting.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it definitely. So flashback, then it goes to the breakout, then goes to Yavin 4,
Yes.
all that stuff.
Now this is where I want to know from you where
Where they go next?
Where do they go after Yavin 4?
All right. Well,
Because
Okay.
this is where I'm kind of back and forth on.
now later on, I'll figure out like even speculate to when we think characters will appear.
Correct. Okay. So
Now-
yes.
I'm pretty confident. Yeah, at this point.
So during
by the time
this
we
first act-
by the time we get to Yavin, we'll see Cassian, of course, because we already saw in the trailer K2SO. Then they go to. I think they go to Jeddah.
Okay, so
Yavin
let's
4.
back up. Let's back up real fast. During Act 1, when do we? How much of the Empire? When do we see the Empire?
That's what I was struggling to figure out. I think we see the Empire right when they leave Yavin 4 and go to Jeddah. I think there's a little gap right there. Like Yavin 4, they're going.
Because Krennic has to be introduced. Besides, I mean, he's introduced in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, that is the first time we see him. But then, we're on the Death Star. We're seeing Krennic. We're talking about the Death Star. We're introducing the Krennic and Empire side of things. I don't think we get that good scene until right after Yavin 4. That's kind of why I feel like it fits in. It's not too late in the movie. It's early enough, and it's after the big now we know our mission. So now we got to see the villain side of things. So I think we go from Yavin 4 to Krennic. He could be on the Death Star. I just figured he'd be on the Death Star. Maybe even that's when we first see Vader. Maybe he comes that early into it. I don't know yet. I feel like that would make sense. Maybe
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Probably not. 'Cause that's a big.
I think there's some. I think there's some. Okay, so I actually wouldn't be surprised if the whole first act we don't see any Empire. I'm kind of with you a little bit. I don't know if we. I'm not even sure we see the Death Star yet.
No, I don't think so. I think because literally, if you study film, that moment where you give your hero the mission, they accept. That's your inciting incident. So boom, Act 1 is done. So as soon as she says, "I accept the mission," Act 1's done.
Yes.
Then we will see the Empire, wherever they are.
So where do you think they go to Jeddah?
I think that our heroes will go to Jeddah. I don't think the Empire's already there.
No, and that's why I think. See, because there's one scene in the trailer.
Yeah.
Again, I'm only pulling from trailer, but there's that one scene where she says, "If my father is behind this, then we have to save him," or something like that.
If
right?
he's building it, then we have to.
we have to save him, right? Or we have to find him.
Mm-hmm.
I think they go to. That's why I see the name of that planet. I think they go to Edu
Next.
first.
Okay.
Because I think to them right now, I think the first mission is to get him. So, because what's Mon Mothma say, right? We have a mission for you. There's a weapons test that's imminent. We need to know how to stop it or what it is. They don't even know what it is or what, and all they know is that her father sent this transmission.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's the first mission is we have to get my father. So I think somehow they find out that he's on this planet, Edu. They get a bunch of X-Wings and they go, and that's where I think, because it's raining, there's that shot of him on the platform.
Yeah.
So that's why I think we start getting more Empire stuff there. And again, this is completely my speculation, but like so you get more information about Krennic and him talking, and that's how he knows that they're going to test this thing somehow, right?
Yeah. Somewhere.
So they get there. There's a little bit of battle there, right? And you see some X-wings fighting, and I do now. Complete speculation. I do believe Jyn has a moment with Galen
on Edu.
Yes, but I don't think he survives
that early in the movie.
Yep.
Okay. See, we're getting different right now.
Okay. Because I don't think he leaves that planet alive.
I think Edu's the second planet. Now, one reason I'm basing this off also for two reasons. One, I think we are introduced to Baze Malbus and Chirrut Imwe on Jedha. Because they're on Edu.
That's where I'm a little confused. Yes.
Baze is on Edu. That's when I destroyed my home. I fight for the Empire now, whatever. But based off the trailers, it just seems like the introduction of Chirrut and Baze is Jedha. Just based off the fighting with the stormtroopers, him dodging those laser bolts, all that kind of stuff, and their dialogue seems very.
Wait, he's on who?
I think Baze is on Edu.
Yes, but Chirrut is not.
I haven't seen a shot of him. No.
I haven't either. So that's why.
But they're together though. They're buddies. They're like
but I think they know. I think they know each other. I don't know. To me,
from what I've been reading, like it's Baze and Chirrut are like it's like buddy cop. Like they're like Chewbacca and Han Solo. So I think they're always together.
But we don't know for sure though if Baze is already on Yavin.
Right, we don't know.
It's possible that he could be.
This all could be
because like his body, they get body in Yavin because he's the pilot.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to think of. Like, when do we see him?
I think he's on the. I think when they leave,
that's
he's like, here's our pilot.
Sure, that's where I left leaning towards. Is he's that early on?
Yeah, I do think so.
And on Jedha, because it's recruiting, so they need the team before they like Ocean Light. They need the team before they do the mission. I feel like so. I think that's why they go to well, they might go to Jedha because maybe that's where the transmission came from. Maybe Galen's on Jedha, so they go there knowing that there's a cell. They meet Chirrut, they meet Baze, they meet Saw Gerrera. I think that's where we're going to get Saw Gerrera as well. His first interaction with Jyn and Saw, a lot of those moments. And then the Empire, maybe if they're already there, maybe they're already there, and they just know, they know that these rebel spies are coming, or the rebel cell is getting bigger, so they test it or whatever. They just destroy the city that we saw in the trailer. My other speculation that I had before.
But then you think they go to Edu after that?
Edu, yeah. I think because they're just following them. Unless they know maybe they're already at Edu. I don't know. I'm contradicting myself, so I don't want to say too much. But the Empire. One of the things I was trying to think of, because I have heard that there are big twists in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of something that maybe could be a twist. What if, I could be totally wrong, but what if Bodhi Rook or Bodhi Rook. We haven't heard it pronounced. Have you heard it pronounced?
No.
Yeah, whatever. What if he's a mole? What if he's a double agent?
That's possible.
Because he's an Imperial engineer or something like that, tech, whatever. And like his,
But you're the one who says you think he sacrificed himself.
I do
in the
think,
trailer.
but I think that fits because I think it's almost a redemption sacrifice too.
Right.
I think he started off, he works for the Empire and then he's changing side. That is fact. And like the way the actor describes his own character, it's like he's just conflicted with what he's doing for the Empire. Whatever. He's like, he just he questions his own work with the Empire, and that's why he's changing sides. But maybe he is questioning it, but he's still in that gray balance area,
Right.
where the Empire is forcing him to give him information and whatnot. So the reason I was also saying that is because why would the Empire go to Jeddah if they're not there already? How does the Empire know to go to Jeddah? Maybe they get information, they get word that from their mole that the rebels are getting bigger, and they're going to be at Jeddah. This rebel cell is going to be at Jeddah, so they go to destroy it. Something's got to happen on Jeddah for the Empire to want to destroy the whole city. I don't know.
Well, okay. So my speculation is kind of, I can go with what you're saying at some point, because I think that's, again, I think the part that's confusing me is the recruitment side. Like see, now to me, I'd almost feel like I know there's a connection between Baze and Chirrut.
Yeah.
But I was kind of throwing that away just to say, okay, they go to Edu, they hook up with Baze, they go to try to save Galen. See, what I believe is going to again, what I think that's going to happen, because I think it's going to be a good moment. Jyn is with her father, and see, he in his dying breath is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He tells her, you've got to go and get Saul.
Yeah.
And he is on Jeddah. That's why I think they go to Jeddah from there.
Yeah.
And because you need help and all this stuff. So, and he either says that, and I this part I don't know either. He either says that that's where they're going to test the weapon, or they go to Jeddah because they know Krennic finds out that they're going, the rebel cell is going to Jeddah to get Saul and some other recruits. I don't know which one I'm leaning towards. At first I was like, he tells her, go to Jeddah and save who you can because they're going to destroy it. That's why I think they go to Jeddah. Or it's because Jeddah is described as the first places of the
Mecca,
Force,
or
something like that. So Krennic might hate that and be like, let's just test it on this. Because the thing about it is, I don't think they don't know that it's going to destroy it or not.
Right, they're just
they don't know,
them,
right? Yeah, the weapon
they have
hasn't
an
been
idea
fully
based off the catalyst. They have an idea of what it could do.
Correct.
But they don't know that it can destroy a planet, and it doesn't destroy a planet. What we saw in the trailer, the planet's not being destroyed.
It's being close.
But it's not, because unless it destroys it in a different way. Because to be consistent,
correct.
It explodes.
It doesn't eliminate it right away. But it is doing something to it bad.
It's horribly destroying part of the planet.
So I think that it's either or. I think obviously, right? Because then that's what I mean. I think they go to Jeddah. They find Chirrut, and then Chirrut leads them to Saul. Because she's trying. I think at that point I feel like to me in that point she's pleading with him. We have a chance.
Sure.
But he doesn't leave. Like, I feel like he doesn't leave.
I don't think he leaves. I think he dies on the planet when it gets destroyed.
Yes.
When the city gets destroyed.
That's exactly it. And then he's like, save the rebellion.
Yeah.
Save the dream. It's like, because at that point, I think it shows up and they're about to, and it's them in the ship and they're flying through it.
It's happening. Yeah, I agree with that.
And at that point, I feel like the ship is full of everybody. Like, that's why I think that's like the end of Act 2, right? That's like the big, oh my God, what do we do? That's why I feel like they don't go to Edu after that. I feel like that has happened because that's such a big moment. It kind of, again, turns the story in a different way, right? This end of Act 2.
Yeah.
and then they go back to Yavin to regroup, and then head to Scarif in a sense. So
See, now I agree Galen will die.
Because
I don't know if it'd be that early, so I will go with you.
So it's Act 2, right? I mean, it's
Sure, yeah. I'll go with but if it's before Jeddah, that's the beginning of
when
Act
did
2.
you think he?
I think he'll die, if not the end of Act 2, then maybe some point in Act 3, but right before the climb. I don't know. But I think
Like on the Death Star? Like, is he on? You think he's on the Death Star?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, we've seen scenes where they are in the Death Star, but there's other scenes like when they actually steal the plans. Like, where are they? Are they in the Death Star when they steal the plans, or are they on that little control spire when Jen has what I guess is the plans in her hand?
Right.
And she's running off.
Well, because
it's like
because
GoldenEye,
there's
looks
scenes
like.
in the Death. I actually forgot. There's scenes in there. She's dressed up as a pilot.
Yes, I have included that, but I don't know where that takes place.
Yes.
I have I have a speculation of it, but I don't know for sure. I can't say for sure. But I think Galen died. I will go with you and say Galen dies on Edu, but I just think it happens in the later half of Act 2. I think that's got to be that big plot point of Act 2 because that's
So and you think it's after Jeddah?
I think it's after Jeddah.
Oh, okay.
I think the team is assembled on Jeddah, but then they go to Edu to just keep tracking them down to follow them. And I think they will have a moment. I hear that. Jen, they get really close to Galen and they get close to Krennic. They probably will have a moment, but there's a scene in the trailer where they're on Edu and it's raining and Galen's like dressed in very official like on that like whatever platform, but Krennic's there.
Yeah,
is Vader there?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think he was.
I'm just saying right now. I don't think Vader shows up till the end.
Till the end, probably. So after Edu. I think after Edu, that's kind of when Scarif, and then they get on the Death Star somehow.
I think they go to Yavin. They regroup at Yavin, don't you think? Or is that
regroup at Yavin? So they go back to Yavin? You think?
Yeah, because after Jeddah, then they have the visual of the Death Star because that's what they're looking at when that when the African American woman's like, if they possess this power, what hope do we have? And then she's like, Jin gives that big speech, right? We have hope. And then that's what I'm saying. Like, and then there's that group where like, I couldn't live with myself if I back out now or something like that. Cassian's because I think they're all thinking there's nothing we can do. And I think
so
they rally. Yeah. They're on Yavin and they rally behind her.
Right.
And then they come up with the plan of stealing. We got to get the plans. We got to get the plans. Because at this point, I don't think they even thought about that.
Sure.
So to me, it's like, okay, what do we got to do? Let's get. So I think that's when she's like, okay, Cassian, me, you, and K2, we're going to go steal the plans.
Yeah.
And then we'll meet. I don't know why they end up on the planet Scarif, though. I think
that's where the Death Star is. I think they know where it is. They figure out.
There's a space battle out there because there's that
the
portal,
shield generator.
The shield generator that's protecting.
Well, that's what it is. I think they split up. They have the rebels attacking that shield generator so they can go into Scarif, and they have the spies going onto the Death Star. And basically, with the U-wing, they get the plans from the Death Star, Jen and her team.
But why would they go on the? Why would they go to the surface end?
Something has to take them down there because she's on that whatever that spire is, and the TIE fighter races up to meet her. You know that shot.
So, but see, I think maybe the plans are on the surface.
That's what I couldn't figure out.
Well, maybe they have to go into the Death Star to help disable the shield.
There you go. That's probably right there.
Right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, that's the only reason I can think. Why? Because if they had the plans of the Death Star, they would just take off and leave.
Yeah,
It's like,
I didn't know if they like something like they had to do
cause them to crash or something like that. Maybe, yeah. I think
that makes a lot of sense. So I'll go with that.
So they go on there. They somehow disable the shields. It allows them to land on Scarif, and then they make an assault to the base because it says on it actually does say, and this is not a spoiler on the it actually does say the description of Scarif. I'll say this real fast. So Scarif is the planet Scarif would be a beautiful tropical paradise if not for the presence of a major Imperial military installation. Scarif is the principal construction facility for the vast Imperial war machine. The world is enveloped in impenetrable deflector shields and is heavily defended. So this spire, that's on there, right? That big spire.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where the plans are. Somehow they go in there and get the plans.
Well, do you think they try to destroy the Death Star in this? like while they're at it, kind of thing. Like
I think it's possible,
so maybe they
but I don't think there's any war. There's not a space battle.
because they can't get to the planet without just lowering the shields, right? They couldn't do that. That's why there's that portal, so they can go through it.
Yeah, well, that
It opens up.
that engulfs the entire planet.
Sure, yeah.
And that's the only way in.
It's that little thing.
Is that little thing? So somehow the Death Star, I think they get on the Death Star to somehow eliminate that shield, that portal, so that they can get in. And because I feel like they somehow
Also-
find out that the plans are in the database on that planet somehow.
It's also a docking station too. There's like I think Star Destroyers.
Yes,
on that too.
totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Now if you've played the downloadable content
I
of
haven't played that.
Battlefront,
Okay.
you're in that space battle.
Yeah.
So it's well, I won't give it away, but it's not. So the Battlefront thing, one of the missions, I guess, when you're because like I was a TIE fighter in it, and occasionally a U-wing will show up heading towards that, and you have to like destroy it before it gets into the thing.
That's funny.
So I'm putting the two and two together a little bit, right? So somehow they all feel like they got to get on the planet's surface, and then they get there, and then I mean, is she carrying the plans on the?
Maybe it's some jamming technical thing that's like this will. I mean,
that's all on Scarif, right? I mean, it's got to be on Scarif.
I just assume that's the plans. That's a big old like hard drive she's got there or something.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting. I mean, yeah.
But it's weird because it gets beamed on Leia's ship,
that's
right?
where we have to talk about now, I guess, is the end. I mean, because this is the first major victory of the rebels against the Empire.
So you're right, because that's what it says in the crawl. They won their first battle against evil.
So they have to destroy
somehow
this
is some kind of victory.
Yeah, they have to destroy this major. If it's a major military installation, they have to get rid of it. They have to destroy it.
Yes, I agree.
So that is, I think, where the movie will end. Essentially, like on this high note of like they won this huge battle. We're gonna get a lot of sacrifices and deaths of these major characters. Some of them, maybe all of them. So there's a big loss here at the end of this movie.
Yes.
These rebels will die, and we'll talk about maybe how that happens. But it will end on a high note.
This is like Pearl Harbor.
Yes, yeah, that perfect point, perfect analogy. Because there's a high note of like, well, we won this huge battle. We can actually maybe even win this rebellion, but we lost so many good people.
So many good people.
So that's maybe a cool thing from Mon Mothma may say something. I don't know. Bail Organa will say something too, maybe. But how they do it, and then like how they get off the planet and all this kind of, I mean, beaming.
Do they get off the planet?
Yeah, well, they definitely take off, I think, but maybe they don't make it too far. I think so. This is kind of how I picture it, where they, the scene where we see in the trailer, it's like, we're in this together. May the force be with us, and Chewie taps his staff on the bottom of on the floor of the ship. So they take off, but I think they start getting overwhelmed with Imperials, like TIE fighters, maybe, or that kind of stuff, and so they have to. They know that I guess they're about to die, probably. So I think they beam the plans to the Tantive, which should be close by, I would think. Maybe it's close by. I don't know. They have to they beam it to the ship, or maybe they beam it to Yavin. And Yavin takes it to the ship. I don't know, but they beam it right before they get smoked out of the sky.
Wow. Okay, so I think. Where does Vader play in all this? You think?
So Vader, I think Vader is introduced in Act 2.
Really? Okay.
I think he's in Act 2. Because what about
that shot in the trailer about the hooded figure too? I mean, we got
to talk about that.
I don't even know.
We got to wait.
That.
Let's wait till we talk about that. But so one thing I have read, I even hate to say it on the show, but again, if you don't want any spoilers, do not listen to this episode.
Yeah.
But I read a little tweet of someone who's at the
But we know you're speculating just like us.
Exactly. Someone tweeted about Vader's presence in the film, and he basically said that Vader has some, a couple horrifying moments, if not like, three or several. Basically saying he has several big, crazy moments in the movie, is what I got from it. So that leads me to speculate that he's in there enough time to have these three crazy moments, these three big scenes. And what those could be, I think the word horrifying might have even been used. So we've heard rumors of like Vader slaughtering rebels in the past. Like that was like an old rumor. So I think what we'll get maybe would be really cool is that Vader. Maybe I think it's asking too much, but Vader, in a dogfight would be kind of cool. Well, but I think we'll definitely maybe get some Vader. I think Vader fighting some rebels. I think that's kind of what it means. At some point, we'll get Vader slaughtering some rebels, and then definitely snapping Krennic's neck. I think is a horrifying moment that we'll see.
So I think I'm still kind of on the. I still feel like we don't get him till Act 3.
Okay.
Like, I don't think he shows up until they realize there's a threat happening on Scarif.
Sure.
So I think when the Empire finds out, they're attacking Scarif, that shot of him, like, and I guess that's the Death Star or it's a Star Destroyer, I guess. I don't know that he, he walks out. There's
that big stomp walk he does. Like
to me, that's the first shot we see him.
Okay.
I don't know why, maybe, I don't know why they reveal it, but I think that's his moment.
Okay.
And part of me feels like, because Krennic's there, part of me feels like you just said, part of me feels like he kills him then.
Right there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a walk of like a father
he's
walking
to
his son,
him.
like,
He's basically like, you failed me. You failed the Emperor.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm kind of.
I think I know what you're gonna say. Hold on. No. Go ahead.
I feel like he turns around, gets in a tie or something, and goes down to the planet.
That's what. Yeah, I think so. I think we're gonna get Vader wiping out X-wings, maybe the Rebel ship. I would like to see him too. Like, I think I don't know how he gets on the ground level. I don't know if he gets on the ground and fights too, but I think we might see him fighting.
I do. I think he does. But
how can they lose it? Maybe he just gets overwhelmed. He realizes that he should just retreat. Maybe, and he just leaves.
Well, they could at that point. They could see. I don't. I mean,
unless he's on the Death Star and there's more rebels than just.
But, okay, so what's the definition of a victory? Because they may have, again, I mean, they may destroy that thing and gather the plans.
Okay. Yeah.
But almost everybody is pretty much wiped out.
Yeah, I think they definitely lose a lot.
Now, Vader, I think, has a big hand in that. I somehow...
We know he can take on squadrons on his own.
Yes. But somehow, I feel like we see him physically wipe out some
I think
rebels.
So, yeah.
And I mean, like...
I think in the air and on the ground.
Yes.
And then killing Krennic. I think there's like 3 huge moments for him. I feel it. Well, actually, you can scratch that. I think one other big moment. Because I think he does appear earlier in the movie. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't kill Galen.
Okay, that's possible.
Because
I've thought about that.
I feel like you would kill Galen as soon as he becomes useless. So after they know they've got the weapon successfully built, Krennic wouldn't kill. I don't think Krennic would kill him, or it would pain him so much to do so, and it would hurt him later on, where he is going to, but he hesitates, and Vader does it for him. I don't know.
So, of these main characters, do you think any of them survive?
Some can. I think some can kind of fall into this. Like Baze, I think could, but Baze strikes me as the type of guy that won't go down without it. Like he knows he's going to die in battle because he's just the way he's a big gun, the way he talks on the trail. Like they destroyed my home. I'm nothing else. Basically, nothing else to live for. Mm-hmm. So he's going to go down fighting. I think Chirrut's the same way. Chirrut's going to die mainly because the actor who plays Baze said that. This guy did. K2SO, I don't know. He could be destroyed. Maybe I don't think it's that important to see. It would be sad because I'm sure we'll fall in love with him, and to see him go would be bad. Cassian, I don't think has to die. I think he can also kind of go into the ranks a little bit because Wedge isn't in this. So for that we see Wedge is not in this movie.
No, I don't think so.
He's a pretty big character. Jin, I think, will die,
and we know Wedge is already part of the rebellion too.
He's part of it. He should be.
So he should be here. Still be somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe we do see him. That's the thing. Is this could be surprise nods, cameos or whatever. Now I do feel. I feel like Vader. Like for this whole time, this whole year, I've had this vision of him killing all of these main rebels.
Agreed.
So, like, a part of me, again, I threw the question out to you today. I was like, are we really going to go through an entire Star Wars movie and not see a lightsaber battle?
Well, a battle between two lightsabers?
Correct.
Okay. Because we'll see probably Vader's lightsaber.
We will see it. Now, that's why part of me feels like, now you kind of changed my mind a little bit about it, but Chirrut, I feel like, is a freaking Jedi.
You're determined for this to happen.
I feel like there's something that's going to be different about him because, could it be that his staff is a lightsaber actually?
Yeah. Like a broken out lightsaber maybe or something like that? Or it could be.
I mean, is it possible all of a sudden he has a little lightsaber battle with Vader and Vader just wipes him out?
Your opinion then would be he's not a Jedi, but he does use the Force.
He could be Force sensitive and never was fully trained, like Kanan.
I think he's Force sensitive.
Well, like Kanan. Kanan was a Padawan.
Sure.
He wasn't a knight.
But he was a Force user, though.
He is a Force user.
He could use the Force.
Oh, I totally agree.
So you think Chirrut could definitely use the Force?
I definitely think he could use the Force.
I mean, like the whole him dodging laser.
Yeah, and he's blind.
Yeah, that's
come on.
Daredevil can do so much.
And he even says it though. The Force is strong. He even talks about it. The Force is with us, kind of thing. So maybe he wasn't a full Jedi, but I feel like he was something. Like he was trained in the Jedi ways.
Be another like Padawan.
Yes, a hidden kind of Jedi, one of the hidden Jedis.
I think that is possible because, unfortunately, I read an interview with Gareth Edwards, and the question was asked if there are Jedi. I think in this movie, and I think he said, honestly, I can't remember, which I'm glad I can't remember specifically. I think he said technically yes.
And again, we've seen it. We've seen it like when Rebels first came on, or Rebels was talked about. You heard about all these rebels right at the beginning of the rebellion. It wasn't until later that all of a sudden it was like, oh, there is a Jedi. Mm-hmm. It's like they can't not do it without a Jedi. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Are we really going to get a movie without there's no Jedi?
Well, they've said that there's no Jedi when they first started talking about the movie. It's like this is a war movie. There's no Jedi. So if Gareth Edwards did say, I can't remember if he said technically no, there's no Jedi or whatever. The answer was vague, leading me to believe that there are going to be some kind of Force user. So that could be Chirrut.
Yeah, I think so. I'm leaning towards saying that he, now whether or not he pulls a lightsaber out, I'm not 100%. I'm about 50-50. Mm-hmm. But to me, that would make sense. And I don't think it would be a battle. I think Vader will wipe him out.
Oh yeah,
and I think he wipes out several of these guys. Mm-hmm. But I still think, again, I think they fulfill the mission. Mm-hmm. They blow up that installation, or they do something. They steal the plans, and I feel like somehow they do get maybe off planet somehow, and they get to maybe one of the cruisers, mm-hmm. or they beam the plans to Bail somehow. But I don't think Bail's anywhere near this battle.
Yeah, and that's something we could talk about too. His whole role.
Yeah, we will. But I think somehow the plans get stolen, and I think. Okay, I do think maybe one. No, let's see. They can't go back to Yavin because they would find out where the base is then.
Sure. But so they beam directly to Tantive.
I think that's exactly.
I feel like it's got to be. I don't know how the technology of beaming works, but I feel like they would have to be close by. Maybe like on the other side of the system. Because
again, we both have said it. I mean, I truly believe this leads directly into Episode 4. Like Vader leaves there on that Star Destroyer and goes after Leia.
Yeah, it's Devastator, isn't it?
Is it Devastator? I guess.
Maybe. I think it is. Yeah, I agree. I think Devastator, or whatever that, if it is Devastator, I can't remember bad Star Wars.
Devastator, is that?
I mean, that's.
No, Tarkin's not on Devastator. Tarkin's not on a Star Destroyer. Who the hell is the captain of the Devastator? I can't remember.
I think
is it
Vader.
Nita?
I'm pretty sure
it's not Nita, is it?
Vader made it that his flagship until Executor. I'll look this up.
Okay,
but anyways,
so
I agree. I think that Star Destroyer is above Scarif, and they get word of the transmission, and they see Tantive shoot off towards Tatooine.
Oh, I think Tantive is there.
I think it has to be. I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense for it to be there.
But would Leia be there? Leia wouldn't be
I
there.
don't think. See, again, I don't think it makes sense. But just because for me, logically, I feel like to beam something, you'd have to be close. I don't think it beam across the galaxy, can they? Unless Leia's already en route to Tatooine to get Obi-Wan, so she's already kind of in that sector, in that system, and so they beam it straight to, maybe it's close by to Scarif, so beam it to the closest rebel ship. Oh, the Tantive, that's right, but that's near us. So beam it to Tantive. That's the closest rebel ship, capital ship, whatever, cruiser. And so,
yeah, I can go with that. I think that's right.
And then the Star Destroyer gets, and they go after Tatooine. They go after
so it should be I think it's probably pre-planned then, I guess, maybe by Bail. Maybe that's part of it.
It is the one in episode 4.
Devastator.
Devastator is in the one that goes.
Does it say who the captain is?
It's Vader's flagship.
It's Vader.
So
okay, so you're right. I think the Devastator's there. I think that it's I think part of Bail plan at Yavin 4 is that, okay, if you get the plans, or I think there's like, I don't know if that's necessarily it, but I think I'll throw this out there because I think there is I think we see the conversation between him and Leia.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think we're focused on them and they're talking back and forth, so we actually see and hear Leia, or it's like in the,
okay,
they look at it from a distance and they see him talking to each other, see the back of Leia.
Personally, I think this is what I would do. So whether or not I think we're going to see this, I for a moment I've thought of, we would see the conversation, mm-hmm. and we would see the digital face of Carrie Fisher, kind of in the vein of this is what they're going to do with Han Solo. That's kind of what I would. Yes.
Okay.
Now, whether or not she says anything, I kind of think she will get some words in, or it's just simply going to be Bail over the shoulder of Leia.
Yeah.
Him saying the plan, and then they hug, and then she goes off.
See, that's what I think. It'd be like that, but maybe our main characters will kind of see them from a distance, like outside the hangar.
It's possible.
And then she goes to the Tantive 4.
But I think we're going to hear. I think we got to hear him say, like,
I think the hug.
I need you to go get Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I think we'll hear that separately. I don't think we'll hear that him talking to Leia. I think we'll hear that him talking
someone else about it
around the table to be like, listen, maybe he doesn't even say Obi-Wan Kenobi. He just be like, I'm going to send my daughter. I want to send my daughter Leia to go after, a guy. Who is it? A Jedi Knight, and they're like, "Oh my gosh,
yes.
I don't know." Like, go to Tatooine.
Yeah, that's probably it. But then, do you think he explains why he goes back to Alderaan?
I think he just. I think I don't know. I think he just does.
Why doesn't he hang? Why does he still stay with Yavin?
I feel like he's staying on Yavin throughout this whole time.
Well, actually, he says. Well, I think he tells Leia, "Meet me on Alderaan."
Okay.
Because you remember, she says, my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed.
Sure. Yeah.
So he tasks her with the mission. Now, how the plans get on Tantive 4.
Okay, well, also, I forget. It's actually, according to the audiobooks, pronounced Tantive 4.
Tantive.
Sorry,
Tantive 4.
Tantive
Correct.
4.
Tantive. So somehow, because it says in the crawl, episode 4, during the battle.
Sure.
Rebel spies managed to steal the Death Star plans. Custodian of and then it says, but Leia's, the only reason we know it's beams is because Vader says that. Mm-hmm. Because in the crawl, it basically says Princess Leia races aboard custodian of the stolen plan. So it sounds like she got him and then took him on the ship. Mm-hmm. But we know that from Vader saying several transmissions were beamed aboard this ship. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
See, yeah,
now see, that's the thing too, is did they actually send the plans over the transmissions, or they just told her, like, they were in contact with her, just saying, like, go get Obi-Wan, or I don't know.
Well, they has to have reason to believe that the plans were given to that ship,
right? Which could have been at the battle.
Yeah, I think either the ship's at Scarif, or it's just closest, and they were able to catch the transmission and know where it was going to They just know where it's like it was beamed to this ship in this coordinates. Like because we know like reading books, like we understand that they can read ship signatures as they enter in systems and all that kind of stuff. But so
I just can't figure out why Leia would be there.
see, I don't. That's why I don't think that is the case. I'm more inclined to believe that Tatooine is just is the closest to them at Scarif, and it's close enough for the transmission to be sent successfully. I just think like they're like scanning really quick for the nearest Republic cruiser. I don't know, unless the plan was that it was like a fail-safe plan, like if all else fails, beam it to the Tantu V4, who will be close by. I don't know.
Man, I don't know.
That's pretty hairy.
That is hairy.
So I don't know how that's going to work out necessarily, but
it's all going to make sense when we see it. It's like, well, duh.
Oh God.
Yeah. I just don't know how Leia gets that fast in her.
So that's why I think maybe she's already there. I don't know, because beginning of A New Hope, Tantu V4 and Devastator's right behind it. Like it's pretty close up to it. So either it chases him, the Devastator chases Tantu V4 as soon as it goes to hyperspace, or they just know where they're going. They meet him there. I don't know. Like. It can go both ways for me.
But see, I kind of feel, oh man, I feel like the plans now. I'm starting to question that. I feel like the plans are physical, because even like Vader was like,
I think they can be. Oh, like it's downloaded.
She's hidden the plans in the escape pod.
Yeah,
it's like she threw it in the escape pod and jettisoned.
I just think there's. So you think there's physical handing over? You think?
I feel like I'm almost starting to feel like that the plans. They took the plans off, like that box she has. Mm-hmm. Somehow somebody got away and took it to Yavin.
But see, I agree with you. It can't go to Yavin.
But it could, and if the ship escapes and doesn't get tracked, obviously, and then that part of me feels like Bale's handing it to her, saying, "Go get Obi-Wan Kenobi, meet me at Alderaan." But why would he give her the plans, though?
So no, I don't.
You're right.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, because Yavin, they wouldn't go to Yavin because they would have it then.
Yeah,
there's no reason for a New Hope.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think it's a last minute ditch effort, and they just have to beam it to the nearest ship close by, which is the Tantu V4. I mean,
or maybe they're close to Alderaan.
It's a cruiser; it can attack.
It's possibly they're close to Alderaan.
It could be, yeah. So however that happens, I mean, the cruiser could be fighting in there or not. I mean, we know Leia is not afraid to...
It's a transport ship, right? It's not a... Is it a battleship? It's not a...
It can fight, though.
It can?
It was shooting back at... I think, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was shooting
a little bit.
So, yeah, I think that sounds good.
So, my speculation, though, is I don't think any of the main characters survive.
No.
I think they all die.
It seems like that on that ship, which Bodhi Rook is not on that ship, is he? Is he on that ship at the end in those shots? I can't remember if he's on the or not.
When she's saying May the Force,
yeah,
I think he's piloting. I think he's
so?
the pilot. Yeah, I think he's the cockpit.
So then you don't think he sacrifices himself?
But you think that happens after Scarif?
What? Which part?
The part where they're all on the ship and she's like, "May the Force be with us."
It just seems like it doesn't have to be. It just seems like that's the moment where they think. May the Force be with us probably isn't, but like those
I
other
think that's
shots,
them going to the battle. To me,
so none of those shots of them on the ship you think is probably going to be the end when they get smoked.
No.
Okay.
See, I think they're getting smoked on the floor, on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think they even make it off. Maybe one of them. Maybe Jyn does.
Maybe that's what Jyn is doing on that Spire thing. She's using that to beam it to.
That's possible. Or she jumps in a tie or something like that and tries to get off herself. But at that point, I think pretty much almost everybody's wiped out.
Yeah.
And Vader had a big hand in that. Maybe he's in the TIE. Is he in the TIE Fighter?
I think he can. I think it'd be cool if he starts in a TIE Fighter, then he gets on the ground. I think that would be awesome. You gotta see both of those sides of Vader. I would feel like. So Bodhi Rook, I think, does sacrifice himself. Yeah. I feel like you got to have that character in this kind of a movie, and Bodhi seems like he fits the bill. Him or Baze, one of the two. But I think Baze just doesn't go down without a fight. But Bodhi Rook, there's that moment in the trailer where he's like backed up against some kind of crates, or whatever, and he has a look on his face like this is the end. Like I've got to make this. I got to do something.
Yeah.
This is it. and then he like pulls a pin. He's running towards a ship. So I feel like that ship is like maybe it's Krennic's ship. Yeah, because Krennic is seen walking on Scarif.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I don't know how that's going to fit into anything.
God, I forgot about that shot. Jeez.
So he might get smoked down there, and Vader may not kill him. I'm just saying that would be ideal for me. That would make sense. But
Vader kills him.
Yeah.
I think Vader kills him.
yeah, I mean, that's what I've been saying forever. But
That's why Tarkin shows up.
Yes. So Bodhi, I think, sacrifices himself there, blows up the ship, Krennic's ship, I think. So I was even trying to watch the part in the trailer where you see that ship blow up, the black-looking ship. It's like Kylo's ship in a way. I was trying to see, does it blow up from the inside, or is it like getting shot at? I think it's blown up from the inside.
But when Krennic's walking, and like it's like almost the aftermath.
It looks like it. We could be totally wrong here, people.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm starting to
be-
think. Okay, he doesn't kill Krennic till after, like
After
the
that.
very end.
Yeah, I think he dies at the end.
Yeah.
Right before Vader smokes everybody, maybe. I don't know. We could be totally wrong.
God,
we could be
this is-
totally wrong.
I think we're right in a lot of instances.
Yeah.
but
This is this last act.
but
This
the
last
end is
climax.
completely and
Yeah.
and whether or not
What's the climax?
I think the climax is I've always envisioned the climax being basically Bail sending Leia out on the next mission, right? I mean,
So that happens. Well, when does that happen in the movie then for you? I mean, because for me, the climax is like probably blow up the or they destroy the installation. That's probably the climax for me. Like there's like a big plot point before it, which makes you think they're not going to win.
I think there's so much more after that, though. You don't think there's more after that?
I don't know. I mean, that's the battle, but I feel like the Empire has to retreat.
See, I don't think they retreat.
Well, the Death Star has to leave. Maybe not.
I don't think it does. I mean, it leaves.
They just won't.
Well, does it leave? I don't know if it has to leave.
Do you think it destroys Scarif?
No, because I think Scarif is a military is an imperial thing.
Right, but I think the installation gets destroyed.
I think the climax. Well, I think the climax is somehow the rebels finally is actually getting the plans.
Yeah.
But I don't. Even though that's the thing about it is the victory. I think is getting the plans. Right, that's the mission.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they actually. I don't know if they actually win the battle necessarily.
I think they do. I think that the victory.
You think the Empire
I think the
retreats?
victory is a military victory. Well, see, maybe they don't retreat. I mean, I think they blow up the installation. They probably destroy a lot of the ties.
And then they take off. They kind of skedaddle.
I think Vader
Because I don't think the
realizes-
Empire, because the Empire can keep freaking sending
They can.
people.
And
I
they
think the
have the Death
rebels
Star
have
right
to.
there.
The rebels have to evacuate.
I think they
somehow.
destroy the installation. They get the plans and they leave. Probably that's their victory. I mean, it is an
And that's the
sense of vic-
climax
it
of
is
the
a
movie?
sense of victory, and that's the big like, yeah, they did it, you know, kind of moment.
Okay.
And they escape right before more people die.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe they destroy the installation, they get the plans, and then Vader comes and destroying everybody, and then they leave
Yeah.
because Vader's.
So
killing
one of the
everybody.
final moments then? Then what's the final
final
moments?
moments of the movie.
Like, I think Tarkin has to show up or something. Do you think Tarkin shows up anytime before the movie?
No, I feel
During
like
the movie?
if Tarkin's in it, I feel like it has to be hologram. If he's in it, which I
There's
don't
that
think
shot of him over his shoulder. in
You
the
think
trailer.
that's Tarkin?
I think that's Tarkin.
Ooh.
No, I'm about 100% positive that's
I
Tarkin.
feel like you changed your opinion on that then. When that trailer first came out, we talked about it. I don't think you were on that side.
Wait,
we talked
the guy
about it.
walking?
Yeah, the guy walking.
No, that I don't think is Tarkin.
You think the guy in the background?
No, there's a shot like it's complete. I don't know where it's. It was
Is this
in one
in
of
the new stuff? Because I haven't seen that.
It's in maybe an international trailer or something.
Okay.
But there's a shot of a guy standing there looking out a window to the Death Star.
And it's not Krennic at all.
It is not Krennic. It is a Tarkin outfit.
Oh, dang. I'm not seen
I'm
that.
pretty 100% sure it's Tarkin.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen that.
Okay. So
Okay. So Tarkin's probably in it, physically in it.
I think he shows up at the end
Okay.
to take over the Death Star.
Yeah.
Which technically, again, leads right into episode
Yeah.
4 when he walks into that room. I mean,
And you talk about overlapping a little bit.
I do think there
that's
might be
possible.
some overlapping.
I think the final moments could be like just glimpses of what the rebels are doing now and what the Imperial Empire is doing now. So like we can see glimpses of maybe like Bail and Alderaan, Mon Mothma and the rebels talking in the war room, perhaps at the rebel war room, and then we get a glimpse of Vader walking into the control room of Death Star behind Tarkin and saying something like, "We have Princess Leia" or something like that. We've captured Leia. And,
yes.
And then he says, he smiles or something. I don't know. I think that'd be so. Oh my gosh, that'd be a crazy ending. Just those little.
Well, so what do you think is the last? Do you think
I think that could be the last moment.
that's the last shot? So
Maybe
the last shot is on the
Tarkin.
Empire, not the Rebels.
I think that could be.
Because part of me feels like the last shot, and I've kind of thought about this for the last month. Part of me feels like the last shot is the Tantive 4 going into hyperspace.
That's what I thought for a while. Yeah, is like those little moments. I think it has to end on a high note like that. It's like the rebels have such a big pride now, like, because they've won this. So they destroyed this installation. They've got the plans. Like they're very excited. But there's a little bit of a gloom underneath it all, like following. Like I guess maybe we know it as fans, but we know what's going to happen next, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like the Star Destroyer goes after him or something. I don't know. That's so
because I wonder if they're going to answer the question of, okay, if they got the plans off of Scarif, mm-hmm. why are they taking them to Alderaan and not Yavin?
So I don't think they're taking the plans to Alderaan, are they?
Well,
is that what? I think that's what Leia ends up having to do because she just has the plans. I think. You remember. Okay, so in the message, she says, General Kenobi, you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he's desperate for your help against the Empire. Mm-hmm. I've hidden vital information into. Please see it safely delivered to him on Alderaan. My mission to bring. Well, she says my mission to bring. My ship has fallen attack. My mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. Oh yeah.
I've hidden plans to the rebellion, and so she was custodian, right? So she was entrusted with the plans, and to go get Obi-Wan, because no one I suspected that she's part of the rebellion, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To get Obi-Wan, take him to Alderaan, and deliver the plans and Obi-Wan, so that Bail could basically say, "Look, we've got the plans. We got a Jedi,
changing everything." Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
So yeah, so here it is. So here's gonna be the ending now. So after all we've said, this is gonna be the ending. So the battle's done. We've seen Vader do his stuff. Krennic's walking in the waters. Everybody's back in Yavin they're on the Death Star. So the final moments, yes, they give the plans to Leia. But they can't go to Yavin.
They can't go to Yavin.
So I think...
And somehow Mon Mothma is not there either, right?
Yeah,
so her and Bail basically decide, okay, we've got
Chandrilla. She goes to Chandrilla.
She goes to Chandrilla. He goes back to Alderaan.
So, okay. So... But I'm now leaning towards... We're talking me into it now. Leaning towards that there's moments after the battle now, like resolution. So, like, the battle's over...
I think there's got to be.
It's got to be
the last 10 minutes or so.
It's got to be something there. So the rebels are doing something. So Jen and them are doing something before they get smoked, and then they give the plans to Leia, and she has to take it to. She's now kind of twofold mission. She has the plans. She's going to Tatooine first to get Obi-Wan
on her way to Alderaan.
The plan was for her and Obi-Wan, and the plans to go to Alderaan.
That was my question: is are they going to explain why? They're going there and not
instead of there?
Yavin.
I don't know.
Now, she obviously didn't get a chance to get Obi-Wan, so it changed.
That's why I think almost
But his mission is to get to Alderaan, not necessarily Yavin. Yeah,
that's why I think like her mission is to go get Obi-Wan to Alderaan. But then it kind of changes when she gets the plans. Oh, wow, so now I have the plans, so I'm just going to take both of them to him on Alderaan. Since I'm taking Obi-Wan to Alderaan, I'll take him and...
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Well, also, it's like,
that makes sense.
I can't take it to Yavin, so I need you to go to my father with the plans, and you all will take it to wherever it needs to. I don't know where it needs to go. I guess.
Wait a minute. Okay, so that could be it. That could be. Okay, so they leave to go to Scarif to get the plans.
Yeah.
I mean, it could all happen. It almost could all happen kind of relatively at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Like, what if this battle is happening while Leia is in?
I think Leia's at Yavin because she has to know that it's there, right?
Yeah, she knows. Yeah.
So my guess is when they successfully know, like Yavin somehow successfully finds out that they're in custody of the plans.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I think Bail's like, okay, Leia, go get Obi-Wan and meet me on Alderaan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go meet up with them and get the plans.
Yeah.
But somehow something happens where, yes, somehow she gets the plans while she's en route to Tatooine.
Yeah.
And Vader finds out about this, jumps on Devastator. They pursues him over the skies of Tatooine. Now that's the only way I could put that together.
Yeah. Some form of that. I agree with that. Like, it's not planned. It's like emergency.
You're
let's
right.
Beam it to
Because her mission is my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. So her mission is get Obi-Wan Kenobi because she has no idea about Luke.
Sure.
So it's like get Obi-Wan Kenobi and meet me on Alderaan. So this whole time Bail's sitting over on waiting for her.
Oh my gosh! What if Bail even references Luke in a way? Like, he has the key to.
See,
Obi-Wan has the key.
That's possible.
The New Hope has our because he knows he's watching Luke.
I mean, he could say get Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan will bring somebody to help or something like that. I don't know.
He'll bring our only chance to defeating this massive super weapon.
Maybe.
This is the sound of me throwing my headset down, walking out. Done. There's the movie.
I mean, that is quite possible.
Jeez.
Oh man. I don't know.
We've hammered out almost every possible, but they're going to come up with something totally different.
Yeah, there's something that's going to be fun. Something's going to be crazy else. I don't know. So, what about the hooded figure?
So the hooded figure, I was thinking about this today and reading about Royal Guards because it has to be involved with the Emperor somehow.
Somehow
has to be.
Yeah.
Whether or not we actually see him or not, it seems logical to me. Honestly, it seems the most logical is that the hooded figure is the Emperor and he's bowing down to Plagueis, keeping him preserved.
Wow, that is
keeping him preserved to use his
crazy
his blood, his midichlorians. Although it doesn't fit with anything else
that's happening.
In the story. At least what we know. So it could be that or Vader. But why would Vader be in that
cloaked?
Or maybe it's another. I don't know. It's because it has to be Emperor related. Because I don't think it's a Bacta tank. It looks almost like a cryo tube.
Yeah,
like a frozen thing. So, because
that whole scene just, I really don't know what's going on.
Like, I was looking at Royal Guard. They are the Emperor's guards.
Yes, no, they are with the Emperor at all times.
So there would no one ever know. It's all
just like those blue ones with the Chancellor.
Yeah, they replaced the blue Senate guards. What do they call them?
Yes.
So I don't know, man. I do not know. Either that's at the very end, maybe, or I don't know where that would be in the movie. If it's not at the very, very end.
I mean, part of me, no,
because it has to be on If it's Emperor, it has to be Coruscant.
Yes,
Emperor never leaves Coruscant.
Oh, man, that part, I really don't know if I have a speculation for that because I don't even. Because, like you said, I don't know. We can speculate all we want, but I don't think anything I come up with would actually be a reason why it's in Rogue One. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's Vader contacting him,
or
he's got to be there.
Yeah,
but he's got to be there because of the guards.
Exactly. Yeah, Emperor has to be there, and just whether or not Emperor's in that tube or Emperor's the hooded figure is the question.
I mean, is it possible this is the Emperor going in to see a hologram of somebody? Contacting Krennic, or
no? It seems like it's a tube of some, like a cryo. It's holding somebody. It's a tube holding a person. It has to be. I guess it doesn't have to, but it seems very likely. So either it's like Krennic bowing down to the Emperor, which I don't think he's ever really seen the Emperor, to be honest. Much. I think he's trying so hard to get to the Emperor. I don't think he's there in person with him just yet. Yeah, I mean. I can't think of anything else besides it's Emperor bowing down to his master. As sort of like a ironic, like he's dead. Plagueis is dead, but he's preserving his body, much like Sifo-Dyas was. It was now we can't get into that, but Sifo-Dyas stuff. But yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, I'm trying to look through any other kind of major questions. We pretty much have hit on everything.
That was in the teaser, right?
Yeah, like I pulled it up.
Yeah, I was gonna. Okay,
that it's
here. I'm gonna pull it up.
Definitely hooded. It's not a Vader helmet because Vader has a cloak. He has a cape, but that's a hood.
Okay, here it is. Yeah, I mean that is,
and the guards are facing towards the tube, towards the cryo tube. It could be back to tank, but it looks very much like a cryo tube.
Well, that's definitely a fully hooded person.
Yeah, bowing down, right?
Wait, is he bowing or
that was another debate if it's bowing or if he's being lowered.
Or is he walking down?
Walking down. Those are the things. He's either lowering his body into something or he's bowing down.
Man, that's confusing as hell to me.
Yeah. But those guards are definitely facing towards that tube. So almost like they're facing towards the Emperor. Like I don't know why.
Now these shots, have we basically confirmed or that these shots of a bald Saul Guerrero are not even in the movie?
Know. I feel like they're not.
I don't think they are. I think that's part of the reshoots that we heard.
I honestly, because there's been other shots I've seen outside of that hut that they're in. I've seen other shots, like a picture. Or no, was it in the behind the scenes featurette that they showed?
I didn't watch those.
Well, the first one that they did.
Oh, the celebration one?
Yeah, the celebration one. Well, I think it was that where like Jyn is with bald Forrest Whitaker.
Oh.
What looked like it could be Jeddah, like outside, somewhere outside. It's like something's happening.
I think all those scenes got reshot.
Yeah, I agree.
The bald ones, I don't think he's bald. I think they put hair on him.
Interesting.
I think I guess I don't know why. I guess they said, well, he's had hair this whole time. Let's put hair back on him. I don't know.
So, I think is that pretty much all speculation? Because there's a couple of little things I was wondering now. Way back when there were rumors about bounty hunters in this movie. Do you think there's anything to that still?
I don't. Not anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any time for it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I mean it'd be awesome if you saw like Bosk or something like that. But
okay.
I mean we got to be. So what's the running? Have we heard the running time in this?
Yeah,
movie?
it's oh my gosh, like 123 minutes. I think 100. It's like 2 hours and 13 minutes. I think is what 133 minutes. I think is what it is.
133.
I think so.
So that's 2 hours and
I think it's 2 hours and 13 minutes long.
Let me see if I can see what's on here. 2 hours 13 minutes. You're right.
Okay.
So that's pretty good running time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if you really think about it, we've only seen about 5 minutes of footage.
I don't know.
Think about it.
So, like
5.
6.
I mean,
yeah.
Every trailer has pretty much the same shots.
Before all the TV spots and a couple of those international trailers came out, you saw the thing where the person compiled all the footage together into like one.
All the trailers together. Yes.
Yeah. So it was like 6 or 7 minutes or something
Okay.
like that, I think. But I feel like there's been some more released. So I don't know.
Less than 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Less
Yeah.
than 10 minutes. So they got over 2 hours.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more in there than I think.
I don't like that. There's being that much released. I don't like that.
Yeah, well, true.
It's like that's a.
But again, there's still not. There's
It doesn't
still a
show
lot
anything. Yeah.
that's not shown. I'm sure there's a lot that we're going to be surprised about.
So, question now. We don't have to tackle it. The Ghost Crew. Should we tackle this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to get anything of the Ghost Crew.
You don't think we get an Easter egg?
No.
Ghost ship?
Well, that's already been somewhat confirmed. You haven't seen it.
I saw the image.
Okay, you saw the image. That's in a trailer.
Yeah.
So, spoiler.
Yes, people, this is a spoiler.
This is a spoiler. But those of you who have not seen it, I think it's the Chinese international trailer. Yeah. The one shot of the rebel ships going into battle, the lower part of the screen, there is...
I don't even want to see it again.
I'm not even saying it's the Ghost.
Right.
But it's that type of ship. Because that's not... the Ghost is just the name of the ship. It's like the Falcon's the name of the YT 3000 or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
This ship has a number as well, and it seems like it's Corellian as well. Mm-hmm. But it's possibly the nod that it's the Ghost ship. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's all we're going to get. Okay. I feel like that's it. Yeah. I don't think we're going to have... Because... And the only reason I say that is because... And you might have a different opinion, but my opinion is that I don't think they would reveal the fate of the Ghost crew in this movie, right? Because I still think there's a lot to tell in the story.
I would agree, and I caught a glimpse of that image, enough to see that ship was there. But when I see it in the movie, I will be looking for it and analyzing it because...
Now, here's the thing. During the space battle, if they cut to a cockpit shot of the Ghost and Harris in there, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, like in Yavin, if you see like the crew just walking in the background.
Yes, like I'm gonna freak out.
Like little
the chopper,
squeak.
I think would be a nice nod. Yeah. But just think about it, because you see people in the cockpits, right, of X-wings and stuff like that. They could cut to Hera piloting the Ghost. You know.
Yeah. No, it could be the Ghost, but just piloted by a different crew. Who knows?
That would be...
The crew's dead, and so the ship...
See, that would be revealing too much, I think.
But if they do reveal that, yeah. But let's say... Because that could be the Ghost ship.
It could be the Ghost ship.
Just different crew.
Wait, you're saying not the Ghost, though? Or
actually
the Ghost?
It could be the Ghost.
With a different crew?
Different crew.
I don't think they can do that.
Yeah.
Not now.
We don't know that, but maybe they later on say, like, yeah, that was the Ghost, but whether or not it was piloted by the same crew, I can't say.
Yeah.
If I see that ship, I'm thinking that that's like, what the heck? Like, that's the Ghost. But we'll see.
I agree, because just like the Falcon, there's not another Falcon in the Rebel. That's a very specific ship. It's not a warship necessarily. It's Hera's ship, just like it was Han's ship. It wasn't like these, because we see they're gathering Y-wings, they're gathering X-wings, they're gathering A-wings. They didn't just happen to gather more Ghost ships, you know what I mean, or whatever that is. So I think it is the Ghost. I'm going to say it is the Ghost, but I want to just pull it up real fast again. But you don't have to see it.
You're looking too much into it, man.
You don't have to see it, but I just want to clearly. I just want to clearly see what. I mean, it. You know what? I didn't pay attention to whether or not the Phantom was.
See, that's why I don't want to. That's why I don't want to know for sure until I actually see the movie. So don't say, because the Phantom's destroyed, so it's Phantom 2. So it'd have to be that Phantom 2 unless they get the original model back in the show at some point. So that's the thing I'm looking for. Is the Phantom back there, or the Phantom 2? Yeah. You know, is it painted the same?
Right.
So that's it. Now.
Oh, wait a minute. This actually just changed. This just
changed some speculation.
Okay, that actually just
about the Ghost or about something else.
About something else. That just kind of ruined my speculation right there.
Both of us?
Well, maybe not you. You want me to tell you?
Yeah. Well, is it a spoiler or just something we've already talked about? What is it? Yeah. Let's talk about it.
In this international trailer,
there's
a couple more shots of Edu. And Chirrut is on it.
Okay.
So that goes against my theory.
Okay.
So that means they have to me, that means that they have to go to Jeddah somehow before they go to Edu.
Okay.
Which completely just ruined my...
Well, it just flips.
Kind of flips.
So I think Galen could still dive on Edu.
Do you still think that? Man, this looks so freaking good. I mean,
Well, so are you ready for my last kind of big speculation, big maybe twist
yeah.
in this movie? I've already told you this though, but
Where's that freaking shot at? Go ahead.
there is a reveal of another droid character in this movie, an astromech droid that's Imperial.
The black R2.
The black
looking
R2.
thing?
It's C2B5.
Yes.
What if, I really have no basis on this besides of a resemblance, what if that is R2 in disguise?
I am. Yeah, you mentioned that, and I have. I really did think about that, and when you first said it, I remember you first said it. I was
Yeah.
like, that's
It's far-fetched.
it's a little
stretch.
out there,
Yeah.
but I kept thinking, is what they did on Rebels kind of a hint to that?
Yeah.
Because Chopper
They paint Chopper all the time.
all the time to impersonate an Imperial droid.
Yeah.
And when I started thinking about that, I was like, wow, you know what? That could be R2.
Yeah. I mean, people talking about when this character was revealed, it's like, oh, that's so unoriginal. They just put it black, and then all of a sudden it's an evil robot version of R2. It's like, well, maybe Rebels did that to make it look Imperial because they thought that would help. But maybe that could also explain, like, R2 is the one that helps him get on the Death Star. Like, we have a mole on the Death Star. We have a mole on the ship, I don't know, or something. I don't know. They could say something like that. Maybe, like, we've tried to infiltrate this space station before and had little success. Because it's maybe R2 helped Galen with his transmission on the Death Star. But that probably doesn't work because R2 would have probably been of more help in A New Hope since he had been on the Death Star before, if this is true. So maybe he's just an Imperial droid on a Star Destroyer or an Imperial droid on Scarif. I don't know exactly how C2B5 factors into the movie, but I just thought it was a cool speculation. R2 can help the rebels on the inside. Yeah. I mean, he looks identical. It is identical to R2-D2, except the color. I've tried to look and analyze for any aesthetic difference, and I don't think I could find any.
C2B5. Wow. That's a very good. I mean, it's even got the red, the red blinking light or whatever. It's like, no, I would not be surprised if that's R2. If that's R2. Yeah. Now think about it. It could R2 be in the droid that's on Scarif helping steal the plans? I mean,
it could definitely fill in a gap there. I mean, because when I first saw this, I was like, I feel like it was random. Like they revealed this, what seems to be an insignificant character. And or is it just a cool merchandising thing for Disney to do, which I wouldn't put it past them? Or do they reveal it because this will later on be an important character to the movie? I don't know. But that's my last kind of big, like, what possibility? Like, what in the world?
Yeah, no, I think that's. I definitely think that's a very good theory, and I would not be surprised if that's the case because I do think. I do think we got to see. We'll see some images of the classic characters or something somehow. Leia. Is that the shot? I don't think that. I can't find the freaking shot now. What trailer it's in? Anyway.
Well, I think we about hammered this thing
I think so.
down. We'll be right about something.
Yeah. So I don't know what our plan is exactly after or when we're going to regroup and. So we are seeing it Thursday night, the first showing at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
We are seeing it already on Friday at 1 o'clock.
Awesome.
So I sometime during the weekend, maybe we'll hopefully get together and reveal, or maybe we wait after the weekend because it's going to be our spoilerific review.
Are you going to see it Saturday or Sunday?
I can't see it Saturday. I'm going to try to see it Sunday again.
I mean, I have a free weekend, so unless I can just pick up a ticket, probably won't see it the weekend.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know if because I think
unless it's all sold out.
Sam, my daughter's birthday is Saturday. Birthday party is Saturday, but then I got Sunday free, I think. So, and Russ might not be able to see it until Sunday, so I might go with Russ Sunday. Anyway, I don't know. We'll talk about it, but. And man, it's going to be a long one, probably because I'm feeling it. We're going to just be. Look, I will say this right now, though. My prediction on the overall movie. I truly believe this will be my favorite Star Wars movie.
Wow, look at this guy.
I think there's enough in there. I think there's moments in there. I think there's going to be moments in there that I know that I feel like I wish were in episode 7. Because we mentioned in our review of episode 7.
Yeah, I know you've had.
There's a couple moments that JJ usually has in his movies that I feel like he didn't put into that. And this movie, I feel like there's going to be those moments there because there's going to be some tragedy. There's going to be some loss. But there's going to be some victories, and there's going to be some, I think emotions in this movie are going to be so all over the place.
But what's going to help is Catalyst. It helps you with that.
Absolutely. And knowing in episode 4 too what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like this is one of those movies where it's like I will just constantly want to keep watching and watching and watching and see things and I feel like the acting in it looks extraordinary already. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen and freaking Ben Mendelsohn.
He's awesome.
Even you got Forrest Whitaker in there. Even though Forrest Whitaker is probably a small part in there, but Felicity Jones seems to knock this out of the park.
I'm sold.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it looks and feels phenomenal, and I will. It's hard to believe that I feel like I am more excited for this movie than I was last year, even though I know that my excitement for episode 7 was outside the roof,
Yeah, I'm not more excited, but it's pretty close.
I mean,
it's pretty close.
And I think part of it for me is because it's the first movie outside of the episodic movie. It's there's no way, I don't care who you are. There's no way you could ever imagine that we were going to get a movie outside of the Skywalker stories.
Yeah.
Even though this technically is part of it a little bit. But there was always that, you knew that we would eventually get 1, 2, and 3 because 4, 5, and 6 were out. There was always rumors that there's a 7, 8, 9 somewhere, and like, oh, wow, we're going to get 7, 8, 9 when the buyout.
Yeah.
Wait. We're getting standalone movies too, It's like who no one predicted that.
Yeah.
So I'm very open, and I think because of the success of this movie, obviously is what's going to drive us to now start getting a ton more movie content and possibly more show content.
Yeah, more mature stuff too.
Totally.
Like maybe 1313 might come see the light. Who knows? Stuff like that. Maybe not the game, but it's like that.
Like an Underworld TV show they were talking about,
Netflix
stuff like that.
Thing or something.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that.
Lots of writing on this movie, no doubt. And Kevin Kennedy has said that herself too. Like, they may not do spinoffs. If this movie tanks or doesn't, if it underperforms, they may not do more spinoffs.
Yeah. Well, it's already, I feel like, overperformed based on the sales.
Broken records. So
broken records already. So, I'm stoked, man. I cannot get fast enough. Man.
And it's just, as I said at the beginning of the show, like my excitement for this is just fueled exponentially because you had the great books that we're reading. Catalyst just coming off the high of that, coming off the high of Rebels. So I'm just stoked of Star Wars. And I was on vacation all last week, and I managed to watch most of the original trilogy on my trip too, because it was like either on TV or I just saw it on demand or something like that. It just happened to be on. So I'm just surrounded by all this and it's fueling it. And I'm just super, super pumped for Rogue One. It's nuts.
Okay, so that'll be it, I think, right? That's our review of, or not review, our speculation of episode. What am I talking about? Speculation of Rogue One.
Yeah.
The Star Wars story. Now, real quick before we sign off, I do want to mention a couple of our ITF polls that we put out there over the past couple of weeks. Last week, I put out there, do you think we'll see an episode 8 teaser attached to Rogue One?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So 59% of you said no. I don't think so now, just because there's been no, at least I haven't heard any rumblings about ATs. I mean, by now you would probably hear something. So I agree. I'm with you. Probably not. Did we talk about the Catalyst? If anybody's read Catalyst, no.
He's on the last show. Did.
So I just put out one today, just because it's Monday, even a little sooner. And we already got some good votes going on here. But the new one is, will we ever... I just happened to think about this.
That's a good question.
Will we ever see Coruscant in another Star Wars film? Because I feel like they're almost avoiding Coruscant, a little bit. But 76% of you say yes.
I think so. And also, just
eventually,
talking here, if we see it in Rogue One,
it's possible. However, unlikely.
Yeah,
but it's possible. So anyway, great polls. I like doing that. So every Monday we'll put those out. All right. So I know it's a long one, but we wanted to get this out a couple days earlier so you can kind of prepare yourself. If you wanted to hear us talk about it, love to hear your feedback, and then go see Rogue One and come back next week at some point or a few days after, hopefully, that we can get our review of the movie out. And then again, the next one after that will be a big Catalyst review with a couple guys on here that have read it as well. So, like Casey said, man, just there's so much good content coming, man. It is unbelievable where we are in Star Wars, and we hoped that this would be it. When we several years ago when we started this thing, it's like, God, I just think there's so much going to be going on, and it's here. It's like we're in the middle of it, man. So we appreciate, obviously, you guys listen to us. So, all right, I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight because my head's going crazy now. Of course, Inside the Force. We are Inside the Force at Inside the Force, Twitter and Facebook. I just started our Instagram account.
Yes.
I felt like we should start posting some Instagram pictures. Doing a little countdown on there right now, but at Inside the Force on Instagram, if you want to give us a follow. Like our photos that we're putting up on there, and we appreciate everybody listening. So go see Rogue One. You doing?
I'm going to do a quote. I'm going to do a Rogue One.
Or Casey Cooley.
The power that we are dealing with here is immeasurable.
Nice.
Yeah, and I will go ahead and preface. The next quote for next episode will be whatever quote Darth Vader says. Whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's some stupid, like a little, like, hello. I don't care what it is. I'm going to say it.
You failed me again, Krennic.
You will die, Krennic. So, I'm very excited.
The Emperor is most displeased with your lack of progress.
Yeah. That's a good one. I will say that's a good, I'm sure.
I'm going to say that again. Death Star 2. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, guys. He's Kryptonian1138 on Twitter. Goodbye. I am DCuttingham21 on Twitter. And I'm telling you right now, I'm avoiding social media right now for the next couple of days. So not even going to look at anything. Yeah. Because I'm not going to let happen to me what happened to Russell.
I know.
I'm not going to do it.
No. Almost happened to me.
Yeah. I feel like if I keep looking at stuff, it's going to happen. Because maybe not tomorrow, but definitely on Wednesday because it's getting released in Europe on Wednesday, is it not?
Oh, shoot, it is. Yeah.
Right?
I think you're right.
I think it's the day before us.
Yeah.
So Wednesday night, they're going to be getting it. in England, especially.
Blackout. I'm going on blackout.
Totally.
Off the
I'm just
grid?
gonna watch
Off
it. I'm
the
just gonna put in the episode 4 on Wednesday night. And that's it. I'm just gonna watch that. Go to bed.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy it. Come back to us. We'll talk about it on the very, very next episode. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.